Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is time to pick my February TBR. January has been such a fast month for me, but I did get a bit of reading done. I did okay on my January TBR. I'm going to talk about that in a second and the other things that I have going on right here. So the first thing I have is my Kindle. I actually currently have a library book that I'm reading on here, so that is going to get read because I had it's Project Hail Mary and I had that one on hold for months, so it's finally available. So I have been prioritizing that over my other reading, but I am adding my Kindle to my TBR shelf, so I do have that option because I recently counted and I believe I have 69 unread Kindle books that I either have from Kindle Unlimited or that I own. So I want to start making a dent on that. And I'm actually going to move my little painting here. Okay. Then the physical book that I'm currently reading that I slightly put on hold so I could do my library book is Murder is a Must. I am 32 pages into this book. There's about a week left of January, so I might get this finished, I might not, but I am not going to add this to my shelf to pick from. I'm just going to set it off to the side. I did not touch Commonwealth. I was hoping to get through Murder is a Must and then pick this up to at least start before the end of January, but getting my library book kind of threw off those plans, but that's fine. This is one that I would like to get to fairly soon because this was borrowed to me in February of last year from my mom, so I'd like to read it and get it back to her. So that is an option again for February. And then the other book off of my January TBR that I didn't touch is The Last Man Who Knew Everything. This one I'm not bothered about that I didn't get to or didn't really have a plan to get to because I just purchased this book at the very beginning of January from a independent bookstore, so not bothered because this one is very new to my TBR and I know I will get to it eventually. I also prioritized my other nonfiction book first because I'd had that one on my TBR for a long time. And then the last book that I have down here is Deep End. This is actually borrowed to me by my sister. I pulled it out because I will be seeing her in about 2 weeks, and I don't see her very frequently, so I would love to get this read and finished so I can return it to her when I see her. So this book is going to be a priority, so hopefully I can get it onto my February TBR. Okay, we have a pretty full shelf again. I'm going to put Murder is a Must off to the side and thinking about February. So something that I didn't take into account for January is that I had something scheduled every single weekend, and that's when I can get a lot of like my physical TBR read. I do bring my Kindle to work with me and read on my lunch break, so I get that things read there, but my physical reading I typically do the majority of that on the weekends. So February I do know I have some things that I'm doing over the weekend, so I think for February I'm only going to pick 4 books. There's nothing that I have to read because my book club book from January got pushed to February, and I already have that read. So just with all of that in mind, I'm going to pick 4 books, so 4 prompts out of my jar. So now that I am done rambling on, let's get to picking. That's just one. A book about family. Let me take a look. After looking through my shelf, I pulled out 2 that I feel like have family themes. So the entire sky seems like it has themes of family and connection that way. This is also a borrowed book, so I would be able to check that off. And then I have Threshing of Straw, which is a book that I have had on my TBR for a very long time. It's one that I've put on monthly TBRs quite frequently, and it's one that I would really just like to read and finally get off of my TBR. So I think I'm gonna go with Threshing of Straw, also because this one seems to have a little bit, or at least reading the synopsis, seems like there's a little bit of a mystery element to it, and I have really been enjoying reading mystery books, so I'm gonna add Threshing of Straw for family, and we'll put the entire sky back on my shelf. Another thing that I didn't mention is new to my TBR that wasn't in my physical TBR video is The Will of the Many and the Strength of the Few. Just got delivered this week, and I'm very excited to eventually get to read those. And I did reverse them because I like the original cover of The Will of the Many way better than the reprint cover. I think the reprint cover is generic, whereas like this one is so much more intriguing and interesting, and I like that they have the reversible one that matches. Okay, enough with my rambles. Pick number 2. Author's name starts with H. Let's take a look. So the only physical book that I have that has an author name that starts with H is Deep End by Allie Hazelwood, which is perfect because I wanted to get this one on my February TBR anyway and get it read. So I love that I am getting this book onto my TBR. And with that exciting pick, let's pick number 3. Pick number 3 is title that starts with the. I know I have quite a few that have a title that starts with the, so let's see what I want to read. So I have some options, but reading the synopsis of The Bee Sting, I didn't realize how much like family element is in here, so if I get that prompt again, this one would be a good one. So I was looking between this one or The Will of the Many. I have not read the synopsis for The Will of the Many because I kind of want to go in blind. Do I want to dip into this? Like how the font is very small in this. I think I want to get into this world. I want to know why everybody's talking about it. I want to know why everyone's excited about it. So I'm going to add The Will of the Many for a title that starts with the. But after reading this synopsis, I actually am super interested in reading this book. I know I read this synopsis when I was first borrowed this book, and that's why I borrowed it from my mom, but yeah, I'm more interested in this now. Okay, we have 3. Let's pick number 4. Our last pick for February. Oop, upside down. Orange on the cover. Let's take a look to see what I have. I can't think of one off the top of my head. And I think it is what I should be putting on is Commonwealth, because Commonwealth has oranges on the cover. So without going and looking at anything else, because I know I need to get this read, let's second month in a row put Commonwealth by Ann Patchett on my TBR. Okay, let me tidy this up and then we'll go over my stack of books. Here is my TBR for the month of February. So book with family themes is Threshing of Straw. Author that starts with H, Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. Title that starts with The Will of the Many. And orange on the cover, Commonwealth. So that is my entire February TBR. This feels realistic, so hopefully I will be able to get through that entire TBR, but if not, that's okay, because I've been really trying to follow my joy with reading, and these TBRs are just guidelines to help me narrow down my choices, because I have so many amazing options to pick from. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.